Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
You're still watching Prime Morning. It's time for the News Flash segment. My name is Roslyn Felly. This segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still phone papa fee. Whatever gadget you're looking for, whether mobile phone, television, CCTV cameras, worry no more because we've got you covered. You can actually download the app on your phone to make things very easy for you. It's the Franco Trading app. For further inquiries, you can visit our website, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone papa fee. I'm here with Honorable Timothy Awantrim Atabwade, and he's representing the NDC this morning. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
Some time.
Yes.
Yeah, elegant this morning.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
And brightening your studio.
Thank you.
When you are taking out, there will be darkness here.
Eish. Hey, Honorable got vibes.
Where's the vibes?
Anyway, so the Jumara policy has been launched. We'll take a look at that. You know, how different is this from NAPCO? Of course, it's a question people are asking. Now, this has been launched because it's an initiative to create employment for the youth. This will also take a look at young girls and the disabled who are struggling in the society. We'll delve deeper into it. And then we'll also take a look at infrastructures in our free SHS. That is the senior high schools. We have to call it free SHS because, yes, the policy is free SHS. However, the schools are called senior high schools. And so there's a lack of infrastructure there where Chemu Senior High School head teacher is saying that this is actually forcing more young ladies to sleep in their boyfriends' houses. Very worrying. It might sound like something funny because probably you heard it, oh, you laugh over it. No. Is there. Because as a country that we are fighting teenage pregnancy, we don't want to hear these things. And so we'll talk about it this morning. As a parent or as a concerned citizen, what do you think about this? How do you think government can come in? And do you think the NDC government can actually solve this menace? It has become a menace because imagine your child goes to school, doesn't have a place to sleep. Before you can say, Jack, you hear your child is in the boyfriend's house. That's where she lodges and goes to school. Yeah, very disturbing, isn't it? And so what? Until it happens to you, you might sit down and smile about it. It's not a funny matter. It's a very serious matter. Let's talk about it this morning. I'll start with the newspapers, what the newspapers are reporting this morning, and then we delve into other conversations. So I start with the Ghanaian Times newspaper, the Ghanaian Times. Yes, yesterday, another thing that was launched by the foreign minister, Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa, is the chip-embedded passports. The chip-embedded passport, it was finally rolled out yesterday. Honorable, are you going to get yours?
Certainly, as at when I need it. Especially, you don't rush to get it when you don't have the need for it immediately. That's creating queues and then fears and anxiety. But it is the best that would happen to our passport, in the fact that when the chip is there, it contains every information about you, and no one can impersonate you, no one can smuggle your passport to do anything. And with that, people can easily be traced as to how they committed a crime or they're about to commit crimes. So it's a first step, and it's very important. We thank the Honorable Foreign Minister, the swiftness with which he's doing this, and not just that, even the reduction in the passport fees from 500 to 350 is a remarkable achievement. It's too early to get this concrete achievement, but that tells you the zeal and the enthusiasm with which people who have been given appointment are ready to perform to reset this country. The institutions have been damaged, and we need to do the reset. And this part of the reset, and I commend him, and we are monitoring to see how it goes. Maybe initially there could be some hitches, but I know it's been thought through. The infrastructure has been put in place to transform the whole aspect of the passport sector. Remember that Okujeto was the first to announce that the passport office would be running the 24-hour program or economy that we talked about. And previously we have seen where so many passports, uncollected passports, have been piled up. due to the fact that they couldn't locate the people. Some people become frustrated and leave their passports there. I've been citing an example where I had to go there with my child and I did it took me so many months to. The processes of getting the passport is so cumbersome to the extent that people take advantage of the cumbersome nature, overcharge people if you want in a fast mode. We are told that if you want an express, you pay 100 Ghana at a time and it will be done. Even the express.
Express, 100 Ghana?
I think, no, yes, some time ago.
It's over 1,500.
No. Some time ago, it was. I think the passport form was about 50 or so.
Okay.
And the express was about.
You're talking about the regular express.
The regular express.
Not the Goro Boys express.
No. I'm not talking about the Goro Boys.
Okay, because when you talk about express, Ghanaians will think you're talking about Goro Boys express.
No.
And
I'm
the
talking
Goro
about
Boys
the officially recognized express that we've been told. So most people want to do this express, so they pay for the 100 Ghana, and yet it delays us. It is the normal one. You go there, the congestions at the passport office is unbelievable. I remember the former minister, Ayoko went there and was throwing tantrums about the mess there, and so it has become a gold mine for a lot of people. And I also think that there should be a revolutionization of the passport office, the what we call decentralization. I don't know why people should move from Bolga or Sandema to Accra to take their passport and to have their passports done. We can do the same passports in Bolga. We can do them in Tamale across all the 16 regions. And I know with the way Honorable Okudzato is going, at the end of the day, we are going to get proper decentralization of these passport offices to ensure that people easily get access to them. And it will also eliminate the fact that there are some foreign people who come here to acquire passports. For instance, Nigeria and Burkina Faso and so on. The chip embedded will really bring out the biostatistics of the fellow and trace you out to, are you acquiring this? And it will also prevent duplications. It will also prevent issues of people carrying two passports at the same time. We heard about even passports like diplomatic and service passports, where people are carrying two unexpired. They've not expired, and people are carrying two diplomatic passports. For what reason, we don't know. Even including service passports too. So all the waste will be cut down, and the proper thing will be done. The infrastructure will be properly built. And the foreign minister has gone ahead. And I think people also, it should be extended to our brothers in the diaspora. Sometimes they have a problem of renewing their passports at our various embassies. Sometimes they call and call and call. People are not picking. They've been sending the complaints to us and so on. I remember a colleague of mine, former Deputy Minister of Education and a member of Parliament. She's elderly. She was calling me from the U.S. because he had called several times to our embassy in New York. And
for renewal.
For renewal. And they told her the passport had expired. Yet she needed to travel to Ghana.
Okay, so
for me, it's a holistic transformation of the passport sector.
So the passport has finally been rolled out. We are being told that if you have your old passport, it's still going to work. And so don't be too quick thinking that, once we have a chip-embedded passport, your old passport cannot work. No, your old passport is still valid until 2030. So for the next 5 years, you still have a valid passport. Now, out of that as well, you are being told that for those of you who want to apply for the chip-embedded passport now, the good thing is that you can apply for either a regular or an expedited service. Now, out of that, you also have delivery service, and nobody will be charged for delivery. And so when you go and apply it, don't worry, you don't have to go back to the passport office and follow up on your passport. Just leave the right address and your contact number, or probably your email address, or the details that they need from you, and they'll deliver it to you at your doorstep. So if you want it to be delivered to you at work, at home, wherever you are, they'll deliver it to you, so that they will not have, passports being stuck up at their offices, and they don't want that to happen again. And also, they are saying that, please, when you get there, don't engage in any Goro boy. Don't engage in any Goro boy. They are even going to try as much as possible to employ the Goro boys to be a part of the system. So don't engage in any Goro boy. The crazy part about the Goro boys is that they actually work with most of the people inside.
That is it. If you don't have a collaborator, you can't commit a crime.
That's the thing.
So those inside always even give them the information. And they make huge amounts of illegal money there. So the Goro boys, if you're a Goro boy and you come in, then you cannot present whatever that you've gotten. How are you going to do it the next time?
Yeah.
I keep saying that there must be a collaborator, and those collaborators are the officially employed
ones. So now they're going to employ the Goro boys.
Just
so
like
there'll be no Goro boys anymore.
Is it the Bev said to?
Right.
Something like that.
Okay, so I'll continue with the newspapers. Protesters hit Accra streets, demand end to Galamsey. Stop blame game. Channel energies into business creation. This is from Richard Ni Amakwe as he challenges the youth. And President unveils a Jumara initiative to create 10,000 businesses annually. Now, this is one of our topics for this morning. So today, we'll delve deeper into the Jumara policy. What do you think about it? Do you think it's a good one? Do you think it's sustainable? Or you think it's just like NAPCO? We want to hear your voice. The Overseer newspaper is the next newspaper. Mohammed Jumera targets 10,000 startups annually. IMF boss commends Ghana's finance minister for strong commitment to economic reforms. Oh, yesterday, I heard that the cedi was growing. The cedi is currently growing to the extent that I think, I'll get the rates for you. So I think the cedi is now 14 point something to the dollar. It used to be 15, but now it's 14. So I'll give you the figures before we finish the segment. Matilda Santi-Esiedu appointed second deputy governor of BOG. Congratulations to her. NAELP visits degraded mine sites in Elembele district. And yes, and also there are some stories here. Vice Chancellor of Ghana demands review of retirement age for university lecturers from 60 to 70 years. Okay, Honorable, you want to touch on it briefly?
On the subject.
The university lecturers, their retirement.
Yeah, I think it's right. It's right on grounds that, you know, the lecturers, sometimes when they get older, they get much more experienced. So
from
if they are
60 to 70.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that because they are a crop of people who need to be, they are not regularly replaced, unlike in other areas where there's a lot to be replaced. So when they get, especially in critical areas, there are some subject area or courses that the whole department, you see only one lecturer or two teaching and so on. I remember when I was in first year at the University of Ghana, I was giving classical history. And the only classical lecturer there was called Shadow. And this Shadow man was a terror. A terror on grounds that he will make sure that no matter what you write, you won't get more than C and so on. So people began to be afraid of such a subject. As a result, Shadow had to stay there for some time because they were not recruiting people to teach classical history.
Shouldn't we rather encourage, you know, more young people to go into that sector? So we make the sector very lucrative. We make the sector very, you know, admirable, that we get more young people rather than increasing the age from 60 to 70.
That is what I'm saying. That it's a suggestion. This is a suggestion.
I know.
And because it's so, that's why I'm saying that depending on the subject area, there are some subjects you can get hundreds of lecturers attending to it, or you can recruit them as at when they retire. There are some of them that are in critical areas. The replacement will take a long time, and people must be trained over time before they can replace them. For instance, you are currently doing cyber security, robotics, and so on. These are areas that are quite technical. And when there are technical areas, it takes much time to do the recruitment. But with a well-planned program, you can begin even to do the recruitment when the people are at age 40. And you can begin to replace them or deliberately put out a program to encourage people to go out there and then study and come back. For instance, I am aware that currently there is a bill that will go to Parliament that they are bringing all the scholarships under one umbrella. But they are going to be giving much more attention to critical areas. They will not be giving, for instance, go and do a foreign program, masters in marketing, in subjects that you can really do them here. So that the scholarship will be meaningful to a lot of people.
Thank you very much. And yeah, so let me welcome Honorable Ayepe. Hello, Honorable.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
By grace, I'm
It's
good.
been a while, I'm fine.
Yes. You know, we have to go back, get prepared, and come stronger.
Are you part of the thank you tour?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
My brother, how are you?
I'm fine. It's been a long time. Man.
Yes, I'm around.
Hope you are doing well.
Very fresh.
Thank you. We thank God
the
for
government
His
is I haven't heard your name. I still appealing.
If I look fresh, look at what our sister is looking like.
President
Ghana. He said she'll be traveling.
He has done very well. Let me congratulate him by opening his eyes widely to identify those who really worked for him. If you look at his ministerial appointment, he's also respected seniority. Looking at people who are 3 terms in parliament, 4 terms in parliament, had been awarded a senior ministerial position. I can talk of Akando, I can talk of Mutala, I can talk of the interior minister with them.
A lot.
Yes, so Perpo, for instance, my senior in parliament. The finance minister I did parliament with him.
The education minister.
The education minister, a most senior member.
Even the deputies.
So it puts the party together. We didn't get it that way. You'll be up front and somebody behind you, a first timer will be awarded a ministerial position and be jumped over you. It created a problem for us because when that is done,
look at respect parliament over.
Yes, respect in parliament. You know, parliament believe in seniority. Look at the transport minister.
They were sitting together.
In parliament. He came to meet me in parliament in 2012, 13. So I think it's good, except that my good friend who has communicated for this party ever since he lost his seat in parliament. I haven't heard his name anywhere. And I think it is very, very important President turn his eye on him.
Towards here. Towards this corner.
Yes, because most of the people like him who have worked so hard have been rewarded. Very, very good rewards, and I wish by this time my good friend will also. At times, some of us not only the appointment, but something that can push him up. The president can say that I can't appoint everybody to be like President Kufuor said when he finished his appointment. He called us and said that those of us who haven't gotten any appointment, we are businessmen, we can also venture into private business. We should be assisted by those who have gotten the appointment to enhance our businesses. Unfortunately, some of them came to rather collapse the little business that we are holding.
They didn't even maintain it.
So President Mahama kindly look at my friend. He has worked so hard. There are some people who, something like Chairman Adekoka, at his age, you go to every radio TV station and you meet this man. And I ask, are you not tired? From Adekoka Olympics that we know to the Greater Accra Regional Chairman, you've worked and still in opposition you are campaigning for and communicating for this party. A president should look at a very creative board and put him as chairman.
Fantastic.
All
right, so I'll do that. I'll finish the newspaper. The New Republic newspaper is the next newspaper. Visu saga escalates. OSP hits him with 15 criminal charges. Vice President opens Mental Health Awareness Month. STC turmoil, assets mismanaged, and official vehicles sold off. Akomia and deputies accused of taking STC's official vehicles. Mahama Ejumera policy ignites youth entrepreneurship. 10,000 youth-owned businesses to be created annually. And my final newspaper is the Economy Times newspaper. Ghana's growth projection revised as World Bank, IMF re-evaluate global economy. Fitch predicts minimal impact of U.S. tariffs on Ghana as IMF pushes for economic reforms, and cryptocurrency trading regulatory framework begin to emerge. And that'll be all with what the newspapers are reporting. Now, let's take a look at what the banner headline on the Ghanaian Times is saying. It's talking about President unveiling the Ejumera initiative, which is to create 10,000 businesses for young people. Now, talking about this, yesterday they went to Kumasi and this happened. Take a look at this video.
The Ejumera program, which we are launching today, stands as a flagship fulfillment of that promise I made in the campaign of 2024. The Ejumera program is not a mere policy initiative. It is a declaration of faith in the extraordinary potential of our Ghanaian youth. It is our commitment to nurturing their ambitions and translating their ideas into thriving enterprises that will drive our nation's progress. The Jumara program seeks to stimulate youth employment, entrepreneurship, and innovation across key strategic sectors of our economy. Through a nationwide selection process, we will incubate new businesses and accelerate existing ones. The program will also provide access to funding. Most young people have good ideas, but they cannot start a business because they don't have access to capital. The program will provide coaching and mentorship. And so for some of the people you saw on the documentary, Akosombo Catering, Horseman Shoes, my friend Senaya, and Matthew Agambire and others. These are young entrepreneurs who already have established their businesses. And so when we help you under the Jumara program, we'll assign one of these young entrepreneurs who already have experience in running a business to guide you and support you so that your business will also grow.
So this initiative is for the young ones, especially those who want to go into entrepreneurship. And also he said that they are going to make sure that young ladies also get the boost. And for those who are disabled, you will not be left out at all. And so let me ask Honorable Timothy Awonche Matabwade, who belongs to the NDC, more about this. Maybe there's something the president didn't say, or there are things that he can break it down better for us to understand, for those of us who have a lot of questions about the Jumara policy. So, Honorable, the Jumara policy is to create 10,000 businesses annually. So how different is this from NAPCO? This says businesses, right?
Yes. I think when you hear the president, he has properly put it in perspective, and now for all of us to do the analysis. And this 10,000 business, like he said, is what we captured in our manifesto. A manifesto promise that has seen the light of the day. It is not just mere words, but it has been backed by budgetary support. 100 million Ghana cedis has been allocated for this. The money is there for it, and so on. So every youth that is between the ages of 18 to 40 years is encouraged. And if you have a skill that you need capital, you are encouraged to go in for this program. Offices will be open, the procedure for enrollment on it. And especially, he said that the program the commitment is to people, the most vulnerable people, PWDs, people who are from very poor background and so on. Because these are people, a lot of them have major skills that due to the fact that they cannot easily get capital, even from the banks, we know the interest rates and so on, and from even private businesses, apart from family
savings and loans,
it is just huge for them. It will swallow them, and sometimes it sets in frustration.
So is this a grant or is a loan?
No. This is a grant.
A grant.
And yes, to just support, because obviously we must have a budgetary allocation for it for the first time, and to ensure that these monies are put into proper
But there's
perspective.
budgetary allocations, 100 million Ghana.
100 million, yeah, we've done that. And even the projection is even into next year, how much it will come and so on and so that we do not lose track of these businesses. We've come across programs like you mentioned, NAPCOP and so on. NAPCOP is completely different from this. This one, like the president mentioned, they are going to get people who are already masters of their craft and their trade and so on, to mentor these people, to help them build up their businesses. The money is not just going to be given to formal monies are given to would-be entrepreneurs. They go to use the money for different, no, you are going to be mentored up through your area of interest, your area of vocation, and from there they mentor you, they set you up, and from there you can expand.
So these persons that are experts in the business, they are going to be given the contract.
They will be given
to mentor. So they'll be paid to mentor.
They'll be paid to mentor. Certainly, they'll be paid to mentor.
And then the young ones who also want to get into business will be given grant. So far, do we know how much grant is going to be given?
No, the details as we have now has not come up. But I think it will be graduated in terms of your businesses. You know, some businesses, someone might even want to start with just 5,000, 2,000, 3,000, depending. And there are even some youth, if you want to give them more, they'll say, no, I want this amount, because they know exactly what you're about. We go around our communities, even in schools that we teach to them. You see that this child is so brilliant in a special skill, but who to mentor the child and who to assist the child's setup becomes a problem. Sometimes when I look at the way some of us went through life, through the way we had to learn very hard from school to this, I felt that as at those years, if we had mentors, probably wouldn't have been here.
What criteria are we using to select these young ones to be a part of the,
No, the criteria is simple. You should fall between the age bracket between 18 to 40 years.
That's the criteria.
That is one. Two, you do not necessarily have to go to school to some extent. Even droppers, even people who are just between that age brackets, who have got a vocation, you don't need to have qualifications academically before you are able to.
Then we'll have more than 10,000 young people.
Yes, but when you are starting a business, you don't just bring in thousands. You have to manage it so that they can equally be a kind of mentors to other people who will be coming in. I would look at your business and I'll say that, look, I would want to be, even as at that stage, you may even be employing people to be learning from you. They would learn up to some extent that they want to set up their own businesses. So as at when the year goes by, we'll continue to increase the number. But this is the starting point, 10,000 budgeted for.
Okay.
If you don't do that and you make the numbers so big, sometimes monitoring becomes a problem and then the program becomes messed up and you cannot even trace how much effort you've put in and so on. So the 10,000 is well calculated, and we know that we should be able to manage this. Look at the multiplier effect across the country, and that is what it's better to have a system and numbers that you can manage properly, so that at the end of the day you can account for, they can also be able to meet the needs of what you set out the program for. Because it is to increase unemployment, it is to reduce to increase employment and reduce unemployment. So in this case, you should be able to manage your numbers to ensure that you come out with best quality for that purpose.
Must you own a business before you go in?
Yeah, there are some people who own business. It's in stages. So if you own a business that is not doing well, you can apply. But when you go, there's a different fellow from someone who is starting just from the grounds, who has nothing at all. You could be doing businesses through your vocation and so it's not doing well, you want to even upgrade to the same stage. There are rooms for where you can apply and get more funding.
How does the government plan to track these monies or these businesses?
Government will track, because we are learning from programs that have failed over the years. And if government has not put in a tracking and monitoring program, how are you even going to ensure that at the end of the day, you get value for money or whatever that you put in place is achievable? Government is going to be done through the National Entrepreneurial and Innovative Program. The CEO is a meticulous guy. I know him, Eric IJ, and then his staff would ensure. In fact, they worked so hard to put this program together. And before the program was put together, remember that they got all the monitoring process to ensure that what has happened to other such programs over the years will not happen. We will be fools, let me say in quotes, if we continue to do the same thing over and over and over and we are not achieving any meaningful thing and the taxpayers' money continue to go down the drain. I don't think it is the best. So there are monitoring skills to ensure that the program is successful, because that will be our success story. Remember, it was thought through. That's why we put it in our manifesto. We are not going to mess it up, because already the country is suffering from financial deficits and so on. There's so much unemployment among the youth, which has become a timing bomb, which has become a national security. So these are some of the programs that we are going to put in place to ensure that this canker is reduced.
Okay, Honorable IEP, let me bring you in.
Well, I don't support those ideas. The MPP did it. Young entrepreneurship programs, planting for food and jobs. I want the leaders of this country, both MPP and NDC, to convince me of any country that has been able to survive on such programs. I did part of my education in India. That is where I saw them doing that on agriculture. I'm talking about doing peasant farming. Government is taking huge sums of money to support individuals in their businesses, whether it be the agribusiness, whatever. And the type of monitoring, I'm happy you asked how is government monitoring this. The type of monitoring and supervision that the Indian government, their culture and the laws that protect them, we don't have them in this country. Me, I will prefer that this country goes the South Korea way. This country go to the American way. Which is, look at the huge money that they've mentioned. You can look at a nice gentleman like that and say, look, we are going to assist you with $50 million to establish this commercial farm so that you recruit those that is referred to as unemployed.
Right.
Than giving the money to the young person. Now, I was expecting President Mohammed's government to research into what we did in terms of planting for food, of which fertilizer and seeds are given to young guy farmers, and say, go into agriculture. Where are they? Where is the money? What's the return? But if you establish one commercial farmer, he go and ask the health minister, Akando, and he will tell you the number of people he has employed in his rice cultivation and processing and marketing of rice. He's one of the best or biggest rice farmers in this country. I have a cousin who is doing poultry, Ransboat. If you go to Ransboat farm, he has more than 100,000 birds. And the number of people that he has employed, if you have given the money that he used to establish his poultry farm to those people that he has employed, that you take 5 chicks, you take 6, you take 7. But now, we didn't have even gotten one single bird to lay eggs for us. So I believe in commercial farming. Look, this time if you drive around, you see people standing by the road looking for transport to work. Metro Mass is no more existing. If we look at a gentleman like this, he said, look, we want to help you to establish intra-city bus system. Government is giving you 1,000 buses.
Yeah, manage it.
Manage it.
And employ
the people, service those who are standing by the road not getting vehicles, and we are putting 10% interest on the money that we use to purchase the buses. Pay with the interest. Government can get the money back from the individual or the organization that will do that than looking at buying vehicles for individual. Tomorrow you can't even trace them.
You feel the NDC is making a similar mistake to what you made?
That is what I'm trying to say. Look, what he's describing is just name changing. The name of the program has been changed. It's the same program that we started. This is a young entrepreneurship, whatever, the ES, and you can call them. Such programs are for how do you call it? It's not for capitalists. It can't grow this country. Russia and co, who started this program, they've stopped. Now go to Russia. You see businessmen. I traveled to Moscow some time back. They encourage people to establish factories, businesses, and employ the young ones. Groom them. Some of them, after some time, will also go and establish their own businesses. We are throwing money away.
Most of these young people, actually, they've never even managed a business.
Exactly. The experience is not there. Get the people, let them establish big businesses, support them, give them the money. But those who have collateral should bring them so that you can channel the money through banks.
But you know, during election, we always hear the campaign messages. It makes it juicy, so the people vote for you according to your campaign.
Is that not the same thing? If I campaign that, I'll get a job for you. And then when I become president or I form government and I go to banks like outside like Big Bank, like Ghana, GCB Bank, I go to the bank. Government have given this money to the bank. Instead of 30% interest, the bank is giving you at 5% interest. Establish business, employ these 1,000 people for me. Some of the people that we are going to recruit are our party people. And at the end of the day, we can't chase them for the money. They may take the money as a gift. Once I've worked for the party to win power.
But they say it's a grant. So that's what grant is a gift.
It's a gift. So how can't... And you see, giving the grant to them, they will take it as a gift, all right. But it will not show any dividend. So why can't we give that grant If you want the 65 party people, my brother here is a party person. If you give him that money to establish a business and employ the party people, that is more sustainable than asking him to go and bring 10 people from his constituency or his village to be giving that money. Scatter the money. The capital is so small that he can't do anything meaningful. And at the end of the day, the person will come empty-handed. He has squandered the money, nothing to show. That to give the money to him in bulk, establish the business, the 10 people you are bringing, go and employ them. And pay back. At the end of the day, government will get the money back, even if it is grant.
That's true.
You can still get the money back. If it is grant, don't put any percentage on it. Just put service charge, give the money and say it is grant, but we are taking it back so that another person also benefits. Look, we need not less than 100 factories in this country to employ the youth that are roaming about. You can get one commercial farmer who can employ more than 1 million. Go to what Dangote is doing in Nigeria. Can you tell me the number of people that he has employed? Let's come to Ghana and see our own Zoom Lion. If we position him well and help him and guide him to pay the workers well, don't pretend to pay them. I'm told he's giving these Zoom Lion cleaners 250 Ghana cedis.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That is, you see,
but that's an
when I was a student, my uncle was a contractor with Barclays, today ABSA. And anytime on vacation, I go to work with him. When Barclays or ABSA, when they give you contract, you write, before the contract will be signed, they will ask you to tell them how much you are going to pay the workers who are going to work for them from your company. And they agree with you. Are you going to pay them 1,000 Ghana cedis every month? You put it into the agreement. Because they don't want you to pretend paying them so that they will give you the money and they will not get the work done properly. Because if you don't pay the person well, the work will not be done well. So I'm expecting government to sit down with Zoom Lion and say that we want the people to clean, not to be seen to be cleaning. So how much are we giving you? What percentage are you taking as overheads and how much you are giving to them as salary? And government must be concerned. What is the basic salary today? And how much is...
A little bit of diversion.
No, it's the same thing.
No, I'm just saying that with regards to Zoom Lion, I just want to clear it. So Zoom Lion has come out to let us know that the amount of money is being paid to these workers is an agreement between themselves and...
That percentage that go to the workers must be enhanced. No. It is too small.
So from what they are saying, they agreed on that amount for the workers.
So government should go back to Zoom Lion and review that agreement. But still, going back to my point, I still stand by that. My brother, we will continue to do this, and it will not help this country. Look, those people that we think we are helping by giving them money, we are not helping them. If indeed we want to help them, give the money to you. Established company, dressmaking or beauty, a company, dressmaking company, and employ the people.
We all had things that
No, but what Honorable Ipe is saying is true.
That is
the best
you see,
teacher.
we don't mix the things up. What Honorable Ipe is saying is true, but we don't mix them up. Talking about farming and big farming, commercial, is true. But if you check, look, if you look at those who really feed the people are not the commercial farmers.
Because we haven't turned our eyes.
No, I'm coming.
If you want to divert and say that this time around, we don't want to concentrate on peasant farming. We are going on commercial farming. So commercial farmers will be established, and then you recruit the peasant farmer to work in your farm. In America, 5% of Americans are farmers. Their population is about 600 and something. We are 30-something, and we can't even see that. Because we are not enhanced commercial farming. That is why you think peasant farmers are feeding us. But indeed, if you want to do commercial farming, at the end of the day, nobody will even try to be a peasant farmer.
You see, and the commercial farming he's talking about, you see, you know giraffe farms.
Yes.
You know how huge giraffe farms were those days. My mother even started working with giraffe farms.
You are not getting my point.
No, I'm coming.
Want to interrupt you. I'm not saying government has no business. Giraffe farming is government. What I'm saying is that government should go and look for the money, give it to the businessman. The business.
I just wanted to cite that.
Giraffe farming is a government. It's a GOG farm. And it didn't work because government was operating. Metromas has failed because government is operating Metromas. If STC is not working because government is operating STC, government should give the financing to a private individual to operate.
Okay.
Sell STC, sell Metromax, and see whether it will not work.
So typical example is the train. I just want to get it so that the viewers will also understand. Typical example is where we have these persons that he mentioned. A typical example, caveman watches, horseman shoes, those people. Rather empower them than saying to them that come and train the young ones. Empower them to be able to employ the young ones.
These Buddha people, the thing that they import from China, Dubai, and others, if you empower them, they can manufacture them in this country. Then they will recruit the young.
So that's what you're saying. Okay.
This is a program targeted at the youth to solve a problem.
Okay.
Solve it permanently. It's not about politicizing. You've made your point.
Please let him make his point.
The commercial fund, the big business people or the entrepreneurs, and the government should give them some amount to expand their business. It's another program by itself. Nowhere in the world that you neglect the youth in terms of employment and developing their skill and the vocations they've developed by themselves.
Not what he said.
That is not what I'm saying.
I'm making an analysis. I'm making the analysis.
Let him make his
point. I'm getting my point.
Yes, that's it.
I didn't say they should neglect the youth.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is that when you employ the youth, the young person in your factory, you groom him, you pay him, you at the end of the day, he can also get up, get his another. But the way we give money shopping to these young guys, it doesn't help them.
No, you see, that is what I'm saying. You see, the big people are there, those who create the big things for exports and whatnot. I agree that, as we said, the best thing for Ghana to do now is agriculture and agri-processing, for which we have amply demonstrated and said that even our 24-hour economy is going to go mainly on agri and agri-processing. We've talked about it over and over again. What the Jumara program seeks to do is to enable young people who have got skills, be they technical or whatever, to be able to build their own businesses. It's no more going to be business as usual. They are going to be monitored.
MPP did it.
Yes,
didn't work. You have done it before when your previous Bahama one didn't work. Wait a minute, my brother, my sister, just a minute. You know our colleague, Honorable Odum. When Nigeria want to cease importation of rice, they came for Odum, a Ghanaian and a former MP. They sent him to Nigeria. He told them, look, we can't stop importation of rice by giving rice seeds to young for go into your family. You know what they did? He got with Dangote, is that the name? Dangote. And they established commercial rice farming from planting to processing. Today, Nigeria has this importation of rice. And the man behind it is our own Honorable Odum. So how can't we do the same in this?
No one is saying that should not be done.
Give him the opportunity to
Yes, no one is saying that should not be done. Our government should. Already there are programs that support big commercial farmers and big entrepreneurs across. We have the AGI and so on. They have their own, where they be meeting government. Government programs have always been married to whatever they want to do and so on. So for me, it's not about that. It is about a teeming youth who get up and they say that they have nothing to do, who go to do mining, illegal mining for the big boys. They don't do that for themselves. They do this illegal mining. They are giving 100, 200 Ghana and so on. And they can best use their skills when they are established and assisted to form their own growing businesses. That even it can be a kind of mentor for other youth who are in that community and so on. We don't leave everything to the big business people. We'll be growing at a rate that we'll be seeing that the top is going while downward, we are suffering from there. You must carry the youth along. There's no way in the world that you can do program without inculcating into the youth the need for them to build on their own skills. When you look at the giants across the world, they started most of their garages, their business in a garage or in a small tree under they started, and they grew big, depending on when they are growing, the support systems that are there to assist the fellow to grow, including building an infrastructure that will support the fellow and so on, including infrastructure like electricity, water, and all those. And these are infrastructure that's needed to take off these young businesses. You can also kill their skills, their innovations, because you want to send all the money to the big people. Some may fail along the line, but some too will come out as giants in future. If we neglect them today because some of these programs failed yesterday, and we don't learn from our history, we will not know where we'll be going tomorrow.
Oh, no,
so that history...
I think for, most young people, I know that especially the Gen Zs, you call yourselves, they are very entrepreneurial.
Yes.
Okay? But then again, we also have a fraction of them that are not entrepreneurial at all. Now, how are you going to be able to identify who can actually work well with the money and who is going to squander the money? Because people often have to go through the process of, understudying somebody to become better.
Yeah.
Now, we are giving them money without understudying. Yes, they say people, they should go for training and all of that. What if I take the money, I don't even go for the training?
No, Rosalind, you have even captured in the first beginning of your statement. Those who cannot cope, those who don't have the skills, are not simply qualified to apply.
How do you identify?
No, it is a program that you apply. You apply and say that I want to be maybe a goldsmith. These are my skills, or I've learned them, or I want to learn more to establish my own factory and so on. You cannot just come and apply that at one man and the money fiscal cash will be given to you. That is not what is done. The president has mentioned some other people. If you look at a program, I don't want to go there because like my brother said, some of these programs have failed, but if you look at the RLG, as at the time we came to power and so on, he was supposed to train. And they started the training and so on, but somewhere along the line, the program got messed up and so on. So it is not about the fact that you have to give to everybody.
If we have tried things like RLG...
No. That is why we must learn. We must learn from them, because some of these, look at the 1 million coders that we are training.
It's not almost the same thing we are seeing. That
No. Completely not different. Okay. Look at the 1 million coders that we've put in place. The first day it was launched, almost 100,000 registered. I have a colleague, he's junior in a way, but he does most of my this. He's an artist. He told me the program is good. He has gone to do a lot of other things.
No, it won't work.
Please, when you were talking, I was quiet.
But
let's say it won't work. The program, no. The 1 million coders go.
This coding thing that you are talking about, we can get this IT operators and give them some money.
I'll give you your time. Please give him 2 more minutes. I'll give you your time.
The 1 million coders, you are saying it won't work. It's benefiting people. People have gone to the programs and they told me personally how they've learned new things in addition to their computer skills. The man I'm talking about is a computer science student, a computer science graduate who is even teaching and went for this program, young guy, and he said it has helped him. And if you understand the concept of the 1 million coders, it's a job that will be exploited across the world. You can even use your laptop and sit under your tree and you make money from that across the tech world and so on. So you cannot say that it will not work. They are not going to just be employed, but they've been given skills to be able to exploit and look for jobs across the globe. And people are even doing it before this 1 million coders, before this 1 million. But this is a deliberate program, a deliberate policy to train the 1 million people. How would someone who has no skills in computer or IT go to such a program? You cannot go. I cannot go because I don't have that skill and so on. There are some people who are so skillful at IT, they will go for the coding program. It's the same thing like this one. If you don't have any innovative skill, you don't just get up and go and say that, give me 5,000 to start a business. It's not done that way. There's a master craftsman who will take you through before you are set up. And we've seen them somewhere along the line. People will drop. You cannot expect all the 10,000 businesses to flourish at the same time. Some may go faster, some may go slowly, and so on. But at the end of the day, it is aimed to reduce the unemployment rate and to give more employment rate to our youth, and for those youth to set up their own businesses. Let us work on this.
If I can ask you, how does the country plan to, generate revenue out of this?
The country plans. Definitely, if you set up your business, you'll be paying taxes and so on. Okay. You understand? There may be tax incentives, but remember that tax incentive itself is good for the country, depending on what the tax incentive is going to cure or to resolve the matter and so on.
What if most of these businesses, which we don't hope that will happen, don't survive?
Now, that's what I'm saying, that you are not just going to be taking the money. You must be taken through a master craftsman. Just like our Women's Development Bank that we set. The Women's Development Bank that we set is one of such programs. It's not going to be for men and so on. And then the Women's Development Bank, the amount ranges from even 1,000 to 1 million, depending on your capacity These are all programs that we have in the system, so that you cannot just get up and go to a women's development agency set up without no business and say that you should give. No, they should be able to assess your capacity to say that you are worth 5,000 loan to be given to you. These loans are given with very less or no interest at all to be able to support your business.
Okay.
So the programs vary from one state to the other. 1 million coders through this, and this one. Take note, it does not say that you must be academically educated. You from dropouts. There are people who have dropped out of school, but they are very good, even in IT. There are people who have dropped out of school, they are very good in repairing IT, computers and so on.
Yeah.
They want to set up their own computer repair shops and so on. There's no capital to start. They can take you through a master fellow and you train properly and you are polished and you are given money to start as well. So it depends on your skill and your capacity to be able to enroll onto the program.
That's good. I'll have a question for you, but I want to come to Honorable Aipe because of time. You wanted to?
Yeah. He seems does not understand my point.
Your point is different from mine, so I will
I'm not saying that he's creating an impression as if I said the youth should not be considered.
Right.
What is the definition for the youth in this country?
That's what give age 18 to 40.
18 to 40. So
yes,
if somebody is 25 years and you think he can go into bigger commercial farming and you support him to do that, he's not.
No, it's good. It's really good.
If somebody is 60 years who doesn't fall within the age bracket and you help that person to establish...
There are other packages for 60 years.
And then he employs the person that is between 18...
I pay is good.
Are you not enhancing the employment opportunity of the youth in this country?
It's good.
So what I talk... My point is that we've tried it. The late former President Mills started Youth in Agriculture. I was then in Parliament and a member of Food and Agriculture Committee in Parliament. We taught all this country to examine what he was doing, cultivation of maize, millet, and many. Today, where is the money?
Some have survived. Probably to those
so
we have not gone
through a proper research to come and convince us that A, B, C, D have survived. If we have given that money, Professor Mills should have given that money to an individual and say, set up a commercial farming in Borga for me. And so for me, we'll still be having that company existing, continue to employ the young person, groom them, train them. Those who can set up on their own after a number of years will also set up. Then we came in 2017. We also started planting for food and jobs. The money we sank into planting for food and jobs. Today, if we are going to do a proper research, you could see that, no, we haven't gotten enough or what's being expected. Why not the government giving that money if it is the party people that you want to satisfy? Why not giving the money to a party person? They go into proper commercial agriculture and employ the young person for me, because my focus is to get the young person an employment. So go and do it for me. Than to scatter the money into pieces to people take it, and at the end of the day, we don't see the money. It is scattered. And then we've come again here, NDC2 is talking about what do you call it? Ejumewura, same huge sum of money. How much have you decided to use?
100 million Ghana cedis. 100
million Ghana cedis. If we've get about two young persons or two businessmen and say, we are giving you 50 million, establish this company, employ these young guys for us. At the end of the program, 5, 6, 10 years, we can still hold that person and say, let's see what we've done. You see, and how many people you have been able to employ. Those guys employ, how many people have been able to set up on their own and are being like you. See, this is something that we can do things that are traceable.
A time frame to make sure that these young people are
and not that he's just employing them, he's also going to groom them to be like him. And at the end of the day, we'll still have business. When countries have tried it, they have survived. Look, the Samsung phone that we are using, government set up Samsung company. But government did not operate. Government gave Samsung to some an individual to operate. Today, Samsung is one of the biggest factories or companies in the whole world. Look at Kia and Hyundai. These are all government-established companies. Government set up the company, give it to the private sector to operate. The kind of support Ford has been getting from the American government, you have no idea. What is it? He's trying to, make sure that the availability of vehicles, Ford vehicles to American, recruiting young people. Because when Ford expands, he the company end up employing the young people for the government. He's talking about these IT people. It's an IT company. Let them recruit the guys and train them.
Honorable Ipe, I wanted to ask you something. You know, what the plan is that they are going to be young people or, you know, people who are already established to train these young people. That's the youth. Let me use it like that. Now, you are saying that give money to some people who are already established, who can start a business, right? And employ them. Now, these young ones are going to go under training. I don't know how long the training is going to be, but they will go under training before they'll be given the money to start up their business. Is it not the same thing?
Read my lips. It's going to be like youth in agriculture that was started by former late President Mills. It's going to be an RG that started trying to train people at the wayside, maintenance and repair of mobile phones. It's going to be like the planting for food and job, young entrepreneurship. It is going to be the same. Can't we shift a bit? We've tried this system. We've tried this system several times. You see, my brother doesn't want to remove his political lens to hear and listen to see and listen to what I'm saying. So but you are defending a program that my party has tried and didn't work.
What your
party have tried during the time of Professor Mills, the Mahama one, it didn't work. And because your government is introducing it, you want to support knowing very well that it won't work.
It will work.
Have we tried establishing such companies to employ the young people that has failed? You've done one thing, we've done it several. Every time it fails. Can't we shift? Can't we try what I'm also putting across and see whether that will save us as a country? If they will do a research to find out how much the late Professor Mills put into youth in agriculture, what they put in RLG, what we put in planting for food and jobs, young entrepreneurship, repair of mobile phones and that, and also what we are going to put into this. They should look. Ghanaians must demand answer from our leaders. Before this program will be introduced, we should demand from President Mahama what the planting for food and jobs and other things, they should give us a report to convince some of us that indeed it worked. They should bring a report to say that, look, Professor Mills, youth in agriculture, this is the outcome, this is the benefit they can, than to always take the taxpayers' money and throw it into the party people for them to consume. At the end of the day, the country will not benefit.
Party. You see the program.
Okay. So you can still send your messages to us. We'll be reading messages very soon.
The big business people.
No, but I'm just telling people to send their messages. So send it to us on 055-157-5757. 055-157-5757. I'll be reading the messages pretty shortly right after Honorable makes a submission. A very big thank you to Franco Trade and Enterprise. Yes, Honorable.
These big businesses he's talking about, that who are businessmen today, they started like this youth today. Look at Kobna Dako. Has been talking about Kobna Dako, the poultry farmer. Dako Farms started with Nkuko and Kitinkiti. And that time, his own story, he told us that he was with his stepfather, who was doing the poultry, and he has to break away with some few chickens to start. And where's Kobna Dako Farms today? Big across the country and so on. When we were growing, it was Dako Farms were hearing. They all started that way he pay. If that time he was saying that he's going to be employed by the stepfather and continue to be under the canopy of the stepfather, why would we have gotten Dako Farms? Talking about Ford and other, Ford also started that way until government supported. There are millions of these youth that we underrate this day because of technology.
So we should also go and start
from there. I didn't say that. You are saying something, I'm saying that it's good.
We should also go and start
program.
From
but
there.
This one is to capture an endangered species because of the unemployment rate. Okay. Most of these people are from conflict areas, mining areas, galamsey areas, rural areas, people living with disabilities and so on. If we're able to capture these people to set up businesses across their community, properly monitor them, because of even the failures of what he has enumerated this morning, we should be able to say that for once these programs will not fail. We are going to monitor to ensure that we are all part of it.
The name
I have some people, and I've been trying to see how I can support them. They are blind people. Excuse me to say, they weave these beds, canned beds.
Oh, nice.
If you see the work, one day I'll just film them and come and show you. I've been trying to see how I can set them up as a firm by itself to weave. When they weave it and then it is brought to Accra, there's no difference
between that when the company is established to recruit the people, it's better than giving this kind of money to the individuals.
Now, such people, when they are mobilized into such as, they'll be teaching their younger ones or their children and so on. But you know, this case, up to some time, they need to break away from their parents and set up their own. And if there's market for them, I believe they can make a very big revenue from it. And government will benefit because we'll be taxing them at an appropriate time. Don't let us say because a program failed yesterday, it will not be able to get the proper structures in place to ensure that it does not fail. We cannot continue to throw our hands in the air.
How many times should we sit down for it to be filled? President Mills did it failed. Mahama did it failed. Then Akufo-Addo have done it failed. And we should do it for it to be filled.
I am not saying that this
one. Well, he said this one is different, though.
It's completely different.
No, brother, it's the same thing, only name that has been changed.
Okay, so a few messages have come in. Musa Abatwa in Asawase says that Rosalind, what NPP man is saying is capitalist approach, and we don't believe in capitalism. We socialists, and we are socialists and believe in building the capability of young people. President Mahama is truly a visionary leader who thinks beyond the box. The launch of the 10,000 businesses for young people under the Jumera initiative is a clear fulfillment of his promise to tackle youth unemployment head-on. The dedicated budgetary allocation of 10,000 shows he's not just talking, he's taking real action. This is exactly how you build a resilient and inclusive economy. This one says, so Honorable Aipe doesn't believe in the youth that they could set up themselves. Tell him we are listening to him. Good morning, madam. Please, planting for food, what did we achieve? One village, one dam, what did we achieve? One district, what factors, what did we achieve? Okay, Mr. Aipe, no more defend the Russia-Ukraine war live. JDM along to work for Ghana for MPP 8. Okay, I don't understand what this person has written, though. Okay, so Mr. Ipe, save your breath. We will not take your advice. Why didn't you give this advice to your government? The president knows what he is doing. So you opposition people should give us a break. Robert Youngson from Cape Coast. Good morning, Madam Host. The NDC rep is not abreast with the... Okay, he's saying you are not abreast with the issues. He is abreast with the issues. Or... he's very abreast with the issues, unless you are not understanding. Yes, that is not. I think he's abreast with the issues. Okay, Rosalind, since when did Baumia realize their arrogance and the high cost of living? When everybody was complaining about the arrogance and high cost of living, he said everything was good, and he was everywhere praising himself and their government at the time. So what is he talking about? Has Baumia forgotten about the fight? Okay, I don't think this is our main topic for this today. So, good morning, madam. Going to give youth of this country fine. I deeply support this program because it's going to give youth of this country fine employment. It's going to empower youth to build up intellectual skills. God really bless our visionary leader, John Dramani Mahama, for such initiative to decline unemployment rate in Ghana. Tandim Ibrahim from Saboba. Good morning, dear. Trust you are doing well. What is the president doing? What the president doing about exporting of raw rubber materials? Okay, what's the president doing about exporting of raw rubber materials, cap lamps, since factories in are paying over 5,000 workers? All right, a Jumara program is a good initiative, but our Ghanaian negative culture of not taking care of government programs. All right. Master Planner Junior Kintampo says that the NDC government, led by President Mahama, is always about launching programs and setting up committee, but it doesn't reflect on the people's lives. If the NPP unites and move into the 2028 elections, there is no way the NDC can beat us. We are begging all the potential presidential candidates to talk to the supporters. They are those causing these problems. Greetings to Ajia Safia Mohammed. Sami Boache from Samanka says that is it feasible for a resetting country to allocate 3 trillion for a sanitary pad? Has a resetting country delved into? Okay, so this is not. We are not talking about sanitary pads today. I'm sorry. Because I skipped the other one. Good evening, my guys. Indeed, said indeed Liverpool has won. Good morning, Joy Prime. MPP man, where was he when NPP was in power? Tell him he's not only the one in the program, but he is. Actually, he has to make a point, and I don't think his point is, if everybody would listen, for conversations like this, they are discerning conversations, and so we have to take every opinion. It's very important because what he's saying is very, very important so that we don't have a situation where it comes back to the same thing, because we don't want 2028 and a Ghanaian start saying, oh, you launched a Jumara. And what happened to Ejumera? Like we saw in 2024 elections, where people were asking the NPP, what happened to Planting for Food and Jobs? What happened to this? What happened to that? What happened to this? So it's just a way to, get the thing done. Okay, guys?
This has been my position ever since, even from late Professor Amel's time to date. Maybe they have not been listening to me. I've never been a lover for this coded names programs. Read my lips.
But it could work, though.
Read my lips.
It could work.
Next year, read my lips. Next year, we'll come and sit around
must learn from our history.
And you told my stone back.
If you don't learn from your history, you don't know where you are going.
It didn't work. Professor Amel did it. It didn't work. It is not going to work this time around. Let us look at how we can set up businesses to employ the young person for us. Some of them didn't understand me that I am not talking for young persons. I say the young persons needs employment. The strategy we are using is wrong. Let's use proper strategy that can.
So for you, it's
train,
strategy.
Exactly. Okay. Train, groom young persons for us.
Okay.
Give them employment. Period. These things are just
like that.
Okay. So Rosalind, good morning. I like your panelists. They are relating responsibly well. Please, the program launched is a good thing. NPP could not do so. So please tell the NPP man to praise the current government rather than saying it will not work and condemning it. It is good to strengthen individual youth, train them and support them. Definitely, some will surely become great in future to employ many Ghanaians. As clear, NPP is not wishing NDC well at all, but God is with NDC. How much have they wasted in Cathedral? Okay, NPP, please tell NPP to pay the EC contract workers since December 7th. John B. from Achim. John, unfortunately, NPP is not in power, so it's the NDC that will have to pay you now. Good morning, Joy Prime. The former NPP MP Good has made a vital contribution, and we actually need such experienced people in our party to take over the affairs of this country in 2028 to move the country forward. This Ejumara will never yield anything to this country from Dut Timothy Dankoma Tumu. Good morning. See how the NPP gentleman is talking. They are wise in opposition. Please, Honorable, you should have advised your government on what you are talking about. Government should do this, government should do that. But your government invested our limited resources in SML and Cathedral. Hey, NPP advice to NDC. Do your best for the country. Don't be arrogant and steal the state like NPP did. If you paint the whole country in gold, NPP will criticize you, forget them, and govern. Farmer from Takrade. Oyibo Boateng from Nerebihe. I hope I got you. Okay, so pardon me, okay? It says MPP member.
MPP Media Patriots. He's a member of the MPP.
Oh, you're a member of NPP Media Patriots. Okay, Dr. Baumia was sacrificed for NPP's inequities and misconduct, but posterity will be the judge. Greetings to Chairman Owusu Bempah, SHS, MPP Chairman, hopeful Oyibo Boateng. Okay, Oyibo, thank you for your message. This is from Gasti Man Brekum. Does President Mahama still believe Ghanaians have short memories? The same fanfare he did during his first term is exactly what he's doing with his Nkoko Nkete and the Jumera program. Instead of focusing our pressing needs and continuing with the good food and Jobs program. He came to meet. He's only changing names and doing road shows. Ghanaians are going to painfully pay 14.75% utility bills. Does he think we don't grow up at this AI era? Good morning, Madam Host. Politicians continue to do the same things with fewer results. NDC yesterday is the same today. Musa from Kanjaka. I love the names of the areas that watch us, you know. Okay, so good morning, Madam Roslyn. The launch of the project is good as it is just a renaming of existing initiatives. The NDC is best at renaming programs. The suspension of the CJ is not surprising at all. The entire NDC and the #1 gentleman in this country, the president, wants her to be removed, and she'll be removed no matter the decision from the so-called political committee. It is purely a politically motivated removal, and witch hunt as they want to pack the court with its members as promised, okay? All right, so you are talking about the, all right, so, somebody said read my part. Let me read just this one and then I come back. Good morning, host and the NPP man. I think you guys didn't listen to the president during the launch at the program. He said those who have new businesses can apply, and also those with already established ones can join, and this program is also to help expand other businesses. Businesses can be factory too, or... Okay, so you're saying we should read your comments. We understand what you're saying.
But you even asked that he...
Yeah, so I asked a question because we need to get to know the criteria and all of that. So that's what the program is about. So it's not about whether somebody listens to the president or not. If you don't, you might understand, but maybe you understanding, somebody somewhere doesn't understand it. So we need to delve deeper into it, and that's why we are here. So the questions will be asked as accordingly, you know. Let's move on to our next conversation. You want to talk briefly on it? Then we'll
I didn't criticize NDC program. I criticized programs that we have repeated, both MPP and NDC several, and did not yield any dividend. What I'm saying is that let's establish companies. Somebody was talking about socialism and capitalism. Socialism, which country? Tell me. Go to China, go to India, wherever. China, go and see big factories that they don't do this properly.
Socialism shouldn't be factories.
Oh, no wonder. What I'm saying is that go to China. Now, private individuals are holding businesses. Is that not capitalism? Let us stop these things. Don't help. Look, it's because maybe an NDC person at the corner think that is going to get free money, so you're supporting it. They know very well that former President Mahama tried, Mills tried, it didn't work. Mahama one tried it, it didn't work. Ekufado. We can even date it back to President Gofo. You see, some of these programs, I am of the view, don't let's politicize it. Don't look at who government is in power. Let's look at the program itself. Because in the same program, only the name has been changed to Ejumewura. We started also. We were giving capital to young persons and existing companies to revamp them. It didn't work.
Okay. All right, Honorable says it didn't work. Yeah, briefly 1 minute, so I move on to the next topic.
I keep repeating this, and because it did not work yesterday, doesn't mean it won't work today. Depending on...
It didn't work 4 days ago.
And the infrastructure.
3 days ago, it didn't work. Yesterday, it didn't work. It's not going to work today.
There's a young man who said he likes the way we are interacting, and he likes it. And now you have, because the guys commended you, look at what you're doing to the program.
You make your point.
So the issue is that Ayipe should not be a prophet of doom. He should support the program.
Instead of
we are all here. If you think that's
so that I'll pray for you to get appointment, look at what you are doing.
Instead...
What you are doing to me. Don't forget, take from my experience. I sat down for 8 years, even sweeping at the office. I didn't get.
You see, the issue is that because some programs did not work as to how I wanted them to work yesterday, doesn't mean that this is it's a well thought through program. In fact, look at it. We launched it within the 4 months that we are in power, meaning that we are not going to sit down. We are going to monitor to ensure that it is done. Like you asked me whether it is for only startup business, people who are already in businesses who think that they can take advantage of this program to grow their businesses. It's good. People should take the advantage, go into it, and ensure that you do it. Sometimes even your own zeal will let the program not to fail. You sat in the house, you have your skill, you want to develop it, and this thing is not being done. Government is supporting you. Why would you? Some of them are even going to relatives and asking for 1,000 Ghana, 2,000 to bring their innovative skills into play. So if such people get such money, I don't think that they will throw it away. Even though I agree with us, some programs failed last year or some years, but that does not mean there are some people in this country.
So this one,
they just want some small capital.
This one has been thought through,
yes,
right?
It has
I remember you
this
did
has been rushed through. This one,
Honorable, I think that we all remember when they did during the election campaign, you were meeting the youth and asking them what their problem was.
Yes.
So this generated from interactions with the youth.
Interactions.
Okay.
And when we even went to Winneba for our manifesto launch, we had experts who I was part of those who were listening to them and so. The programs are many. It's not just only one off. Remember, the Jumaura is another. I mentioned the 1 million coders. I mentioned the Women's Bank program and so on. There are many of such programs that individual categories can take advantage of these. There are some people, once they get the laptop and sit down, they are making $1,000 maybe a week or every 10 days. They might not even want to go into a Jumaura programs. That their skill alone, that they will train on the coding, the IT applications and so on, can let him establish his own small office, and he will employ people and retrain them and so on.
But
so for me,
is there a sustainability plan though? Because it's another thing, sustainability plan, or when government changes the dice?
No. I don't think, when the businesses are doing well, it will even be difficult for government not to continue, because there are most of the programs they say, we're going to evaluate them, look at where that they do not go well. You remember the one, is it? No, the other one, the hospital program.
Agenda one.
The president talked about the fact that if private people have the capacity to come in, we can partner them to continue some of the program. That's what we do. Once it's a program for the youth, why would the new government come and then cancel it?
All right.
Once it achieves concrete resources that we can rely on and say that this is what we now have Rosalind clothing making factory that is doing. What can be, except if you want to wear all your clothes.
Okay. Honorable, this I didn't see coming. Anyway, let's move on to our next topic, and it's to do with infrastructure in our secondary schools. We are hearing that, because of a lack of infrastructure, some of these young girls are being forced to sleep in their boyfriends' houses. The headmistress of Chemu Secondary School did tell us yesterday, that this is a challenge, and we need to speak about it and see how best it can be solved. Honorable Ipe.
Well, I'm of the view that we should take a critical look at our secondary education again, especially those that are in big cities, center of cities, like Chemu Secondary School, like Kimbu Secondary School, like Accra Girls, like St. Mary School, those that are in big cities, that the catchment area is densely populated and can therefore get the number of students they want from within that catchment area should be deboardinized.
Deboardinization.
Should deboardinize them. Why should Chemu Secondary School should be a boarding school? Why should Accra Girls Senior High School should be a boarding school?
Nungua Secondary
School, why should that be a boarding school? The catchment area, you see, when you go to Enuma Papem Senior High School, those that will be trekking to school may come from places like Suwate, Kofi Pare, that they have to trek. Some may take about 2-3 vehicles before they get to the school. There we can introduce boarding. But when the catchment area is enough for the school to get the number of students, so now Ghana, we are calling about boardinizing the students because they live with their boyfriends. Why? The school placement must also have a system that will show the location of the person and put him to a school nearby, so that the child can still stay with the parent and be attending school, than to put somebody from Otwansi to Tema. Chemu is in Tema, eh? Yes, to Tema. So to the point that if I don't get boarding school, let me go and stay with my boyfriend and be attending school. Who created them? We've created it ourselves. Because if the placement system is such that if you are from Otwansi, in my village in Otwansi, you can't be placed as a day student in Chemu. If indeed we are not yet to deboardinize the schools, then of course make sure that you don't put somebody as a day student when the person has no relation around where the school or the catchment area of the school. When this is done, some of these things will stop. You see, so for me, I think yet it's a good call. We must take a look at it again. How can you stay with your boyfriend? You're like a married person and be attending school at the same time at that age, below the age 18.
So right now that the mistake has already been made, how do we correct it? Like you're saying, certain secondary schools,
those people,
they already have the infrastructures.
Yeah.
You know, Accra Girls, Chemu, and those people.
When you deboardinize Accra Girls, do you know what you do? The boarding houses will be turned to classrooms and more students will be recruited. Okay. So when issues come like we have the short-term measure, medium, and the long-term. In this case, for instance, the school should quickly identify, Ghana Education Service should go in and identify those students who are day students that their parents are not around to see whether they can help getting a hostel for them or get a boarding place for them to boarding them in the school so that they will leave their boyfriends home. Some of them, if care is not taken, may get pregnant along the line.
That is the road to pregnancy. Stay in your boyfriend's home.
Then number two will be either we deboardinize the schools. If we think that we cannot deboardinize a school like Accra Girls Senior High School, then let us increase the facility, the boarding facilities, for them to increase them. Then at the same time, in the next academic year, when we are doing the placement, we should make sure that if your house now, we've gotten the digital address system, put your addresses, and some of the parents too, they know they live in Otuanse. And when they are filling the form, they'll go and put a digital address school close to Accra Girls as the address, simply because they want the child to attend Accra Girls.
But you know,
knowing very well that the address that they put there is wrong.
But the JHS tells us. The JHS
exactly.
Tells
so even as you said, where you attend your JHS alone can tell you your location.
I have a question with regards to what you're saying. It's a very, very good point. But this is a case whereby we have most of the A-listed schools not in Accra, and most of the A-listed students live in Accra. So there are people who want to attend Wesley Girls. There are people who want to attend, you know, maybe Archbishop Porter Girls Secondary School. They want to attend the Asantwa and all of that. How do we, or Holy Child, you know, get things in the...
Accra Girls is a category A school.
Yeah.
So if you want your child to attend Accra Girls and you know that you don't have money to get a hostel and the boarding is also full up, then be very careful. Parents should be guided not to allow their children to go. The first question that we should ask ourselves is that, is the parent aware that the child is staying with the boyfriend? Is the parent aware? So let us look at all this. For me, I think some of the schools need to be deboardinized so that we get... And President Kufuor started... Exactly. President Kufuor started something. So he picked one school from each district and tried to put them to a standard where nobody will move from Ayensuano to go to Cape Coast so that you can get education, the standard of education that you want. It's been practiced in America and other countries, that wherever location that you find yourself, there's Achimota in there. Kota Senior High School standard can be lifted, if not same as Achimota, close to Achimota, where children will go there and they pass very well. So at the end of the day, nobody will think of taking the child from Kota to Achimota. Okay. So that program, we can go back and have a look at it. President Kufuor started it, and then I think it was stopped. Where Suhum Sektek was, there's a lot of infrastructure was improved, teacher education and all that got to the point that we wanted Suhum Sektek to be like Achimota. So those of us in Ayensuano, Suhum, Samankese and other areas will not have to travel to Accra to access Achimota Senior High School. The quality of education in Achimota, President Kufuor wanted to be like Suhum Senior High School, to be of the same standard of Achimota. We can do the same. Okay. Take one school from each district, raise it to the standard. When we got all the 261 districts, we can go back and say, let's take a second school. Okay. Before we can say, Jack, nobody will travel to a better education.
All right, Honorable, we want to take a look at what the headmistress of Chemu Secondary School had to say.
And then, girlfriends, we have that challenge. Some of our students are forced to look for homes around and then high rents and then come to school, which also poses another challenge. Some of them have, even when parents, we have that challenge. And some are forced into that situation, not that they intended to be in that situation, but then the situation has come for that. So we would urge that we get a boarding facility so that at least it will curb some.
So this is what she had to say. Honorable Wanter.
Just before Honorable will come in, did they used to have, or did they have PTA meetings? Because issues like this.
PTA meetings was cancelled under free SHS.
No, nobody cancelled PTA meetings. No, I have children who were in school, enjoy free senior high school, been attending PTA.
Honorable, did you attend
It was the
PTA?
dues. It was the dues.
That was cancelled.
Exactly,
Okay,
not
that's fine.
meetings.
All right, fantastic. But the dues was cancelled. Okay.
A spoiled child is always a spoiled child, even if you cage the child.
I disagree.
I'm coming.
Environment is a factor, though.
Yeah, but
I want him to land, and then we.
I don't want to even to go into the environment because, yes, I agree with Ayipe that one of the issues to resolve is deboardinization. But boarding schools in itself comes like a package. Most people would want to attend boarding schools because when you sleep on campus, you study better than when you are trekking from the house to the school. In fact, the challenge is a respite to the child because they somehow dodge domestic chores that the parents would ask them to engage in. And once you live in the boarding house, you learn a lot of cross-cutting cultural behaviors and so on. You grow as mates, classmates, and you know yourselves very well and so on. So there are the advantages and the disadvantages. Now, if a child is taking advantage of that, and because there's a lack of discipline, there's a lack of infrastructure, he has to rent a place. That rental that the child did, the rent was paid by the parents, and for them, the parents knew where the child was staying. So if the parent knew that the child is staying in a house A with facility to take care, and the child then leaves that place and abandons her original place and goes to sleep with the boyfriend, it's a different matter. That child, even if he's in the boarding school, will jump the wall and still go to that boyfriend again. The difference will be that he will not be able to go and stay there for days or just pack bag and baggage and stay there. He would always go and come. So that is the difference. And I think that one of the issues, discipline is a problem. I teach and I keep telling people that I observe how students behave. Some of even the boarding students, some of them jump walls. The school authorities have done a lot. Sometimes they have to bring in policemen to quell the situations and so on. So there's general lack of discipline. And if a child is when you go to school, these days they go to the school so young. Some even go at the age of 15, 16 and so on. At that age, if you can keep a boyfriend and pack into that, it is only God that can save us. And I believe that no parent will want to see a child that you've brought down for education purposes, leave what you are supposed to do and you are playing the buffonary somewhere. No parents want to see that. And you see, when you look at Ayipe's issue, the issue is this. You cannot also get all the schools deboardinized in this country. But what we can say, no, I'm coming. But what we can do is that those who live around the vicinity, who also want to have boarding status, can be given the day so that people who travel from Upper East Sanma, like the schools you were mentioning, the A category schools, and co, they are able, with that, will be able to get more and more of them being accommodated on campuses. But if I'm just staying by the gate and I also want to be, because I've told you that when students are together, they study better than when you have to be trekking. Because sometimes I have to get up around 5 a.m., 4 a.m. to bath and then to go. When the teacher starts teaching, the child will be sleeping and so on. The children are better disciplined when they are together on the campus under the watch of their teachers and so on. That is one aspect. And I also think that we must make infrastructure. We must begin to expand the infrastructure facility and other facilities in our schools to meet the growing population and so on. Now, if we reduce the school age, going age by the SS system, those days before you even go to a secondary school, you would have gotten to 20 years plus and so on before you go. So the school had enough infrastructure to contain, looking at the time it takes you to even come on board and so on. Now the infrastructure aspect of the school, when the IPS government introduced the free HSS, the population were more.
My government, I haven't gotten the government. We have the Fourth Republic have the Lawrence's government, the Kufuor's government, the Professor Mills' government, the Mohammed's government, the Kufuor's government. We don't have IEP's government.
That is IEP's
to address your listeners.
Which one is IEP's government?
The Kufuor's government.
But he was under President Kufuor too, right? So
what I'm saying is that we must begin to allocate enough funding to expand infrastructure. There have been some uncompleted projects that have been stuck in most of the campuses for the past 8 years. GET Fund was created to make sure that infrastructure and other facilities were put up to meet the needs of the students. Now the GET Fund was used as collateralization to take money. So it got short, there were a lot of shortfalls. That is why when you look at the budget that was presented by the current government, they made sure that the tax refund revenue is reduced from 6% to 4%, making an extra over $3 billion to be given to GET Fund. So the GET Fund will use part of it for infrastructure. Most contractors who were putting up structures and so on had their businesses stopped for the past 5 years.
Honorable, you see, the thing is we need to speak about sustainability, because what Honorable Aipe is saying is a fantastic idea. Yeah. This deboardinizing some of these schools, not all the schools, some of these schools makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that was why we brought in the community day schools.
Right. The
community day schools were supposed to take care of those needs, but we converted them into boarding schools because of the number of people who were suddenly to attend the free SHS.
So that's where the issue is, because free SHS doesn't say that they all have to be in boarding houses. And we are seeing a challenge with this because everybody wants to be in a boarding house.
That is what I said.
Free SHS is free SHS. It has nothing to do with free boarding SHS.
No. It's even hard because boarding is free.
No, my point is they are supposed to have the education coming in free.
Yes.
So it is the education aspect that is the most important.
Yes.
Whether you're in boarding or not, you just have to be educated. That's the most important thing. Yeah. So what Honorable Aipe, his suggestion, if even is done, don't you think it'll solve half the problem?
Yeah, that's why I didn't throw his suggestion away. I said, yes, that's part of it. And I even narrowed it down to the fact that there are people who are in the vicinity, who are just nearer. Within 1 mile, you go to school and come. They can go with the deboardinize. It's a mixed program. Even now that we are talking, it's still mixed, but we can have a deliberate policy to make sure that, for instance, in Nungwa Secondary, the Accra girls that he cited, there are people who are just within that area. Probably 100 students, you can get them within a 1 mile square who can be there, and they will reduce the pressure on the boarding school and make room for more to be employed.
Even 1 mile. Even somebody's living in Adenta.
Yes, I just
be able to attend secondary school on daily basis.
Like he rightly mentioned, especially in the cities.
Yeah.
In the cities where transportation is fluid. Yeah. Where people can have other means of transport going there and so on. But in a village like he cited, in my place in Sanoma, you have to go about 5 miles to the school I attended. Now there was a school that was established. Sanma Secondary School, they call it green because of the uniform they were wearing. It was purely day school, but it has now also turned to boarding. I am just telling you that the boarding school system has its advantages that students and parents would want to take advantage. But like he rightly said, we can do deboardinization to some extent, maybe 50-40% and so on, so that we reduce the number of people who would travel from all over the country to come to, and the pressure of boarding. It is a nice thing, but this must be discussed. It should be a deliberate policy. When we do that, people are even advocating that, look, these days, most secondary schools are becoming boarding, but they are talking about in countries where the infrastructure for these day schools are good and perfect. So, like you said, people can even stay beyond the school premise, where they can come in daily with trotro. If you have good bus system, like the public transport he was mentioning this morning, they can carry students. I remember when we were younger, when you are going with, they used to call, is it omnibus?
Osa, yes.
Osa. You don't pay. When you are wearing school uniform and you get into the bus, you don't pay.
But I'm not cutting you. Just to chip in this for information. See, if I were the education minister, I'll pick a school like Accra Girls Senior High School. The money that we're going to use to feed the students, I'll use the money to buy about 10 buses. right? And then good quality buses or do. And then
vantage points.
Then I pick the corridors. If I cry guess, you can have the big farm, the corridor there. We can get one to Adenta, as you mentioned. And then we use it as school buses to pick the students to school. It's cheaper than even keeping the students in the school and feed them. It's cheaper. At the end of the day, parents can pay something small to fuel and maintain those buses. We can try it. We can pick one school and try and see how it will work, so that at the end of the day, if
the parents will know that my child lives in my house, and
at this
from my house
to school. Even now
the
that we are talking this morning,
at the vantage point and be picking them to school. When they close, the bus just take them. So the stress he's talking about, people sleeping in class and all that, will be reduced. So let us pick one school at the center of Accra and try it. If it works, we can spread it across.
What secondary school?
Look at the interesting thing. And when you look at the students' behavior, sometimes you do not understand, Rosalind. You are there, it's not up to the closing time. With the gate man there, the students are waiting. When there's a least chance, they run out. I always ask them, why are you running to? It's not yet time for you to go. And when they are preventing them, they will jump the walls and run away. Sometimes these students who do that may not even get to the house. They have other areas they are going and so on. Now, when such a child gets trouble, then the school authorities are taken on. But the child is already a truant. A lot of these measures will put in place, they will skip it and so on. So such students are there. But I think that there are students who stayed in the house and did better in terms of writing their exam. There are students, due to boarding challenges, their parents rented rooms for them. They stayed there and equally did better. So I agree that we can do it in phases, so that at the end of the day, we get the best for our children and so on, because we want them to grow up in a disciplined environment to ensure that we have better human resource, that they met us and so on. So no parent would want to see the child like that. And for me, I think that it's a policy we can begin to discuss. Interestingly, my daughter attended St. Rose's, Akwetia. And when I went to Akwetia, I realized that even the indigenous were not even patronizing the school.
That's why we introduced 30% enclave area policy. When you finish, I'll tell you my story.
But even then, they were not really patronizing it. So one discipline that they instituted was that anytime St. Rose's girls are in time, no one calls them. No Akwetia fellow calls them. And I asked why. That, if we are going, we go about 500. If they call you and you go, if they go back, you are going to get the punishment and so on. And even if you are calling them, they will not mind you and so on. But at least you can still get one or two filter out, no matter what. But I think the larger issue is that there was a discipline, and that discipline should continue. Yeah, they were boarding students and so on and so forth. But I agree that we can do the deboardinization to some extent and begin to replicate it. Continue until we have a complete mixture of. But the boarding school to has its advantages for which we shouldn't completely write it off and so on.
No, I don't think that's what.
No. That's, I'm just saying that.
Rosalie, there's one thing we are lifting behind in our discussion: parenting.
Parenting.
It's a critical issue. You can talk about these girls living with their boyfriend, and the question is, the school is closed. The headmistress is gone home. The child is gone home, but gone to her boyfriend. So where is the parent? You see,
I think that is those who travel and come.
Yes.
But they have parents.
For their parents.
But if I travel, if the child came from Sunday, my parents are in Sunday.
Let me tell you, as a parent, you must come if your child is not with you and is attending school and stay with somebody. Once a time, go and visit the child, not in the school.
I used to visit my daughter almost every time.
I send my children to school.
Rather, it was my boy that didn't visit.
My girls, I have two girls. They all attended Wesley Girls. And you know the nature of driving, the type of driving and the way that dangerous the road they keep close to. I drive myself with my Land Cruiser and make sure that I take them to school. A day that I'm so busy that I cannot take them to school, I go to STC myself and make sure the school organized STC trip to school.
Yeah. It used to be organized. What happened?
Well, they are still doing it. Well organized. This is why they even have motorcade in front of the bus.
That's good.
So I take the children to STC to make sure that they go to school. Some parents don't care. Look, I went to Wesley Girl to visit my girl. I was standing when a young guy around 15, 16, no, 17, thereabout came to me and said, I've been seeing you on TV. You are MP. And I said, yes. Can you please endorse my form for me? You know why? Because you are a boy, and Wesley Girls is a girl's school. So have you gotten admission? How come? Oh, not me, oh, my junior sister. Where is she? She is standing there. Come. Where are you? I'm attending school at Ghana National. This 30%.
And where were the parents?
The first question I asked, my mother asked, my father is at home. They said because I'm in school, they can't take the girl to school as well. And he said the girl has gotten admission at Wesley Girl because they live in Cape Coast. That 30% local thing has been able to get the girl to Wesley Girls. And said, the way I want my sister to attend Wesley Girls, I've decided to bring her.
Wow.
The parent did not bother.
Anyway.
So I have to endorse the form.
Yeah.
And then take the parent's phone number. Say, even if you don't have money, come, follow the girl to the school.
Anyway, we have to end the segment now.
I must say that men do well visiting their girls in school. Because anytime I went to St. Rose,
I visit my boys and girls.
Anyway, this is all time will permit us for the segment. A big thank you to you, Honorable IEP, for making time. And he represented the NPC, and Honorable Timothy Awantirimata Boade represented the NDC. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here this morning. We are grateful.